Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Agents Aftershock. Your Ninja Mafia Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D Aftershow. That's right, I came up with the name.
Is that what, really?
Yeah.
Did you come up with that on your own?
Yeah, I did.
Aftershock?
Well, I was...
Quake's barely in these.
Dude, she was a big part of these. We'll get into that.
Oh, well.
Alright, so...
She may have been in them, but she wasn't in them.
So today we're doing the review of the first 2 episodes. We'll probably be back doing these weekly.
We're gonna try.
We had some other stuff pop up, and we're taking a break next week because the show's taking a break.
Yeah, so we might do something different. We might have a little
get some Luke Cage action in.
I was gonna be a little more clever with it, kind of slip it on the sly, but you can just say screw it. Yeah, Luke Cage. Something powerful from the streets.
He is powerful from the streets. All right, man. Let's get into it.
Okay, well, the biggest question is how... I don't like Daisy in this that much.
You're not a big fan?
I'm just going to come out and say this. It's not that I'm not a big fan. It just seems like character regression for her because she learned how to rely on the team and how to work with them and overcome her problems. And now that she has had what is essentially the newest stumbling block put in her path, all of a sudden she's just like, no, I have to go it alone. And the whole raccoon eye mask makeup she wears when she goes out to fight crime looks absolutely stupid.
Well, let's give them like a quick rundown in case they haven't seen it or need to catch up.
Well, you give the rundown for what happened at the end of season 3. And
okay, at the end of season 3, Daisy was brainwashed by Zombie Ward, as I call him.
You want to elaborate on that because there's a bit of a backstory in that.
Okay, well, are we just gonna recap the whole 3rd season real quick?
No, I don't think we really need to because a lot didn't actually happen in season 3. It was a lot of standing around talking about what they should do and how they should do it.
Well, in season 3, Coulson finally ends up killing Ward.
Yeah.
Finally. It was long overdue. And then while they're in this Phantom Zone type thing, I don't know what they called it, the Ghost World.
I don't know. There's another dimensional world
that Simmons was trapped in at the end.
That Hydra's been...
And the god of Hydra was in there, basically.
Yeah.
Their deity that they watched, that the Inhumans are terrified of.
Which, that was never explained either, so...
Yeah, he brainwashed them all.
Well, yeah, but it wouldn't explain what the hell he was or why he was doing it, so...
Yeah, well, he got out. He possessed Ward's body after Coulson killed him. He brainwashed Daisy and a handful of other Inhumans, and the one redeeming girl, I wish they hadn't killed him off. What was his name?
Lucas?
No. That was Lincoln. But
Lincoln,
no.
Sorry.
I was talking about May's husband.
Oh, right. Lash.
Yeah,
he was Lash.
He was the best thing about that. One of the best things about that season.
Yeah, he was good.
It was a twist I didn't see coming.
I gotta admit, I was like,
I did not
crap.
see
When
him
it finally
being
did
Lash.
get revealed that he was Lash, I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't honestly expecting that. That was pretty good.
And to see like his inner conflict with Lash, and then he turned himself in. He was like, I'm about to transform and I may not come back.
Right.
And I loved how they just, like Lincoln set Daisy up and they sent Lash in there as basically like a bomb on that guy. Released him, Lash heals Daisy, and she goes back. And the whole half of the season, she had a vision of somebody dying.
Right, it was somebody on the team was going to die fighting.
They were going to be
the Hydra god.
They were going to be in a S.H.I.E.L.D jacket with Yo-Yo's cross.
Yo-Yo's cross.
Yeah, the cross Yo-Yo gave to Mac, the character Yo-Yo.
Which one
the
was
Inhuman
Yo-Yo?
the one that gave Daisy the medicine, the one that pops back and forth.
Oh, the teleporter.
Yeah.
The blind teleporter, okay.
Yeah. She gave Mac the cross.
You can tell what an impression they made.
she gave Mac the cross, and I loved how that whole final episode, it was just kind of, they bounced that back and forth, like we didn't know who was going to die and who wasn't.
Yes, there is.
Okay, well that
was a weird interruption.
okay.
Okay.
That can be edited out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, the whole episode, it really kind of left you wondering, okay, who's gonna die? Because everybody put their shield jacket on with the patch, and in the end, it was Lincoln and Zombie Ward.
Right.
They were up in the plane together, and it blew up. I think that's how they're justifying. And then we do the time skip. We find out Coulson isn't the director anymore.
Right, and that's when we get into season 4.
Daisy's gone rogue.
Right.
I think their biggest way of justifying this is, I mean, the only two people Daisy had really ever loved romantically blew up in a ship together.
Well, in fairness,
Technically-
one of them wasn't one of the guys, and the one person that she did love before betrayed her and everything she believed in.
Well, technically, 3 loves, because she did love, like, I can't remember what it was called, but the zombie ward. He
Well,
had
that was
a
a
name.
brainwashing.
Well, Hive, yeah.
Hive.
But it was like a drug, because remember, like, she tried to go back.
Yeah,
And
and that
Lash-
plays a bit in season 4 and episode 2 that we'll
Like,
get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, we flash forward to this season.
Daisy's gone rogue. She's hunting the watchdogs, like the dudes from last season that were
Right.
just kind of a small faction. They're hunting humans and stuff like that, and that leads her into conflict with Ghost Rider.
Right. Which I'm really glad they're not doing Johnny Blaze.
Me too.
Honestly, I
like it. I like this new Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah, have you not seen any of the comics?
I've dabbled, not heavily seen it though.
Okay. That was a weird series of words that tumbled forth from your lips, but
I mean, I've just kind of skimmed over when I found
Right.
out it wasn't Johnny Blaze. I wasn't completely aware. Marvel and me, we have a love-hate relationship.
oh, that's all big comics nowadays. But no, I really like the fact that they're not doing Johnny Blaze. They're doing someone different, which gives them a lot more room to toy around with the character and not have fans get all wall-eyed about somebody acting
Doesn't
against
it-
how they normally would.
In the comics, didn't it switch back and forth between the brothers, or?
I don't know if it does or not.
I don't
What I do know
remember
is that this
specifically.
one is not the initial spirit of vengeance. It's actually the spirit of a satanic serial killer that posed as the spirit of vengeance and promised this guy, I can't remember his name right now. It's too soon.
I know Robbie. Robbie,
Robbie?
I think so.
Might be. We'll call him Robbie for this.
Yeah.
He promised Robbie that he could help get vengeance on the people who were hurting people and making a mess of the neighborhood and terrorizing people. And so he took that agreement in full knowledge of what it would happen. And in the comics, he meets Johnny Blaze and he figures out, oh my God, this isn't the spirit of vengeance, and it's not going to help me get the vengeance that I require. It's some kind of evil satanic cult leader. And they merge, and it essentially gives him the powers of the Ghost Rider. I don't know if they're going to try and work some of that into the story for the show. It looks like they might, but I love the fact that they made it not a motorcycle anymore, because
Yeah.
I'm not a big motorcycle guy. I'll give Ghost Rider the first a pass because it was created back in the 70s when Easy Rider was a big thing, but my God, am I tired of motorcycles. And the 69 Charger is one of my absolute favorite cars ever. It's the hero
Yes.
car. It's the car that when somebody is driving it after somebody, you know they are out for blood and they are going to get what they deserve.
I do enjoy the car.
Yes,
Definitely.
and I don't know if they've added sound effects to it or if they've pitch shifted the engine, but it has that perfect balance of menace and roar to it.
Yeah.
So that when it does rev up, you hear that classic V8 bellow, And when you see the flames spurt out, it's like, yeah, that's where the flames come out at. that's when the rider comes forth and just explodes.
I don't know how we didn't see Ghost Rider coming this season, because he was hinted at very heavily in season 3. The guy that had the heat powers that they used the chain in the comics, he's like Johnny Blaze's like cousin or brother or he or like son, something like that. The guy was very closely, so they were hinting at it last season, and then they're like, yep, it's Ghost Rider, but it's not Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, no, I'm really on board with it. The only thing I think is a departure. The only thing I think is a departure from the books that makes more sense is that the skull morphs the way it does because it morphs around the helmet.
Yeah.
That being said, I do like the new design. I think it looks very sleek and stylish and works wonders.
Yeah, everybody was a little mad. They're like, oh, it looks like they mixed Johnny Blazes with this other guy's, and it just, I love the way it looks. Like, the other guy, other Ghost Rider, he has like a flame here, and then like a couple on the side. It's
right,
like
they're the vents that come out from the helmet. They're air vents for when you are racing. And so it makes sense for this helmet to look the way it does, and for when he transforms, for the fire to be where it is, and for the skull pattern to appear.
But he doesn't have that on this.
Right, and that's one of the things I think looks really jarring when he does transform, is it because it's very angular skull shape.
Yeah.
And while I do still enjoy that look, I think it would work a lot better if he were to like acquire the helmet or something.
That could be a possibility.
Right.
Anyway. I like the way it looks all together. And
all right. Well,
we've
talked about. I think we've talked about how it looks enough.
Yeah,
we got across. It looks good. Story's shaping up nicely. Episode 2 left me a little confused, but we'll get to that. So let's talk about episode 1.
Episode 1, he is. It starts off with Sky or Daisy. She's trying to track down the watchdogs, and like the first 10 minutes leads her into conflict with Ghost Rider. And I love how it just kind of
was that not some of the most brutally violent shit?
Yes, it was.
Oh my god, they're skinheads in a truck, and I'm like, oh, okay, bunch of neo-Nazis getting their ass kicked, I'm on board. And then all of a sudden, blood just goes right across the truck, and I'm like, oh my god.
Ghost Rider is here.
Yeah, man. It's
like the whole him getting out of the car and like flipping his keys. I was like, he's gonna use those as like brass knuckles, and that's exactly what he did.
I wish we could have had a little more shot with the car. I wish we could have more shots with the car being fully engulfed in the hellfire.
Yeah.
But I understand special effects being expensive like they are. The show has a budget, so
I loved how it kind of kept a distance on him, so we didn't really get
at the first part. Yeah, and I
like
like that a lot. So you build up this mystique and this mystery, and so when you do get that payoff for what he transforms into, it looks good.
The transformation looks great.
Yeah, the best thing I can compare it to is actually Ghost Rider #1 with Nicolas Cage, when he transforms for the very first time in that warehouse where parts of him are just cracking and falling off.
Yeah.
And it looks so good.
All right. Well, I mean, we've got most of the Ghost Rider stuff, and then S.H.I.E.L.D. wise, we get Coulson and Mac on a plane.
Yeah.
It's like Coulson and Mac's excellent adventure.
Yeah. Which I'm kind of on board for. Those are two characters that I really like and I think work well together, both as actors and as characters. So seeing them
kills it every season.
He loves doing what he does. He loves playing this character, so it works.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Avengers to find out he's alive.
I know, that's going to be so nice. Well, I hope that might happen in this season if S.H.I.E.L.D. goes public, like they're saying again.
Hopefully.
But that being said, I'm not real sure why they left who the new director is be a build up to the second episode, because it's kind of a weak payoff. It's not.
It pays off a little bit, but
it pays off, but it's not to the point where it's like you should have centered the entire episode around this, which is essentially what they did.
No.
But anyway, back on the first episode, they essentially reintroduce where everybody is. Sky's on the run. Ghost Riders in the streets.
Simmons got a promotion.
Simmons is now a promotion.
She's big shit.
Yeah,
she's acting like it too. I kind of like it. She's a little bit feistier. I mean, she's still very much the old Simmons,
right?
But she's like, I don't want to do this, but you just back me into a corner. Like May calls Coulson back, and they give Coulson and Mac. She gives Coulson and Mac a silent lead on Daisy when they've been told to back off,
right?
Because they failed multiple times to capture Daisy. And the director thought they were doing it on purpose.
Right.
To let her just kind of go. So May gives them the silent lead, and then later when reports start coming in, they're like, really, come on now. And it makes her mad. Like Jim was like, you could have let me know so I could have done something more. Because now I have to send in a strike team.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. But it did end up being, it ended up with a little payoff because we did get to see Yo-Yo and that she's secretly been helping Daisy with the bone healing drugs.
Right.
Also, it led up to the other stuff that's going on, which I'm a little confused about that. Like it led to a warehouse where some sort of deal was going down. And
well, supposedly that's going to be the big secret throughout the rest of the season is what the hell's going on with these boxes, why everyone's going insane when they come into contact with them, and what this has to do with the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be very much a science versus magic type thing, which we might get a glimpse into Doctor Strange if that's the case.
I'm hoping.
Because if we start dipping into the mystical side of Marvel, that means that something a lot weirder is going to happen. And hopefully that'll be an entire another season. Maybe we'll get like another half season deal where it's like half of it's Ghost Rider and S.H.I.E.L.D, half of it's the rest of the mystical stuff. Or we could end up doing something akin to the Watcher and the Inhumans on the Moon.
Yeah, we are getting close to. They very much keep saying he in the book, and I want to know who he is.
Wait a minute.
Well, this is gonna transition from episode 1 to episode 2 when they finally we get a glimpse of that ghost and then what it did to May.
Yeah, May gets interacted with the ghost, and she starts seeing everybody's eyes start like decaying and blackened, and somebody else came into contact with one of them, and they had the same reaction. So we know it's not like a personalized thing; it's very much in general type deal. But they're not ethereal type ghosts because they interact with a computer and they try to talk about something that was done to them.
Yeah, and there's apparently they've been locked up for a while.
Yeah, they've been locked up Ghostbusters style in a box.
The opening scene, one tries to go back to her house, and the guy was like, "We've lived here for years.
Yeah. I'm really not too
anymore."
I'm not too sure what they're gonna do next. I'm hoping that we get some Doctor Strange goodness, at least related in there. But
They talk about a book and a character.
Yes.
They keep referring to it as him, and this is his fault, and he did this to us, and he. And
you don't think it's Dormammu, do you? Or Mephisto? If it's Dormammu, then we can tie in Doctor Strange. If it's Mephisto, there's still a whole bunch of other stuff out there.
It could be either or. I'm not sure. But why? What's the purpose of making these things ghost?
Well, that's kind of the big question that we're hopefully going to see the payoff to later in the season. We don't know much about them right now.
I think there's a connection to, wasn't it Austin, Texas, or something because Daisy was looking into it, and she goes to confront Ghost Rider after their big fight. And
I thought it was L.A.
Pasadena. It's Pasadena.
Pasadena, California.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought Austin.
I don't know.
But she...
Thinking about going to RTX this year?
Maybe.
Get tickets soon.
There was The fight in episode 1, like that's the last thing I'm going to touch on. Episode 1, the Daisy Ghost Rider fight. You may not like her that much in this season, but man, that fight was so good.
It was decent for a first time fight. I like the fact that she was able to kind of whoop up on Robbie. Again, I forget his name, and I apologize. She was able to kind of whoop up on Robbie, but then when he transforms into Ghost Rider, it's just absolutely overpowering her every step of the way.
Yeah.
Just through the sheer force.
And he even in the second one, he's like, the Rider said to kill you, I let you live. That was me.
Yeah, we get into the second episode now. Yeah, she
like,
loses this fight really, really hard, and there's some kind of a link between Robbie and the Rider. It's not two distinct separate entities. Or maybe it is two distinct separate entities. I'm not sure how they're going to play this, but they both kind of work as one between the bodies.
It's not one is completely in control of the other. Like it seems like he very much is in control because he even said like the Rider said to kill you. So it seems like he's transformed and he's in control of his own body.
Right, and he possesses the powers.
It's just these powers, and Daisy thinks he's. She does all the research on who the guy is, and she comes to where he works, and just keeps talking to him and breaks her van, and she's trying to get information out of him.
Right.
She thinks he's an Inhuman, and he's like, "No, I'm not. I sold my soul."
Right. So that's kind of what's making me think if they're going to try and introduce someone like Dormammu or Mephisto. And since he didn't actually make a deal with the devil like you're supposed to, if we're going to get Johnny Blaze later in like a flashback or something, and like have those two come to grips with what's happening.
That could be a definite possibility. I mean, we have seen multiple Riders at one time before, so we could always get another Rider in there. All of it's a definite possibility.
Definitely looking forward to him doing more than just throwing fireballs. I want to see the Hellfire shotgun.
Yes.
That will look badass.
And then,
if doable, I'd love to see something with the chains again.
Yeah.
But this is all just wish fulfillment that I would like. Maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't.
Yeah, and on the flip side of, like, while Daisy's doing this, back at S.H.I.E.L.D., they finally give us the new director.
Yeah, and this is kind of what threw me for this episode. This was like the A story.
Yeah.
And the B story was Daisy and the Ghost. And then you have C story, which is May going insane.
Yeah.
But focusing on A story, I don't know why this had to be the main focus for this episode, because it turns out that the new leader of S.H.I.E.L.D., new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. is
Batman.
Anyway,
he is. He's the voice actor who does Batman in all the new movies. The guy's name is Jason O'Mara.
I don't care what his name is. You know who's Batman? Kevin Conroy is Batman.
Anyway, I just thought I'd throw in that. But as you were saying,
not everything relates to Batman. Batfile.
He is a.
Why don't you just go give Batman a blowjob while you're at it?
No.
Anyway.
You got Trudy cracking up.
Glad someone's laughing. Now, it turns out the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. is an Inhuman, or a powered person, as they say.
No, he's Inhuman.
They started calling them Inhumans now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also find out that in this episode, Coulson didn't want to be the director anymore.
Well, that actually seemed like the most logical thing in that, because Coulson, like from the start, didn't want to be the guy sitting on high and telling people to go places. He wanted to be the guy in the field.
Yeah.
And this, I think, is a very logical progression for Coulson's character. When someone else comes forward that can direct S.H.I.E.L.D. better, he's going to look at it and say, you know what, no, you are going to be a better public face than me. I'm going to be the man who is out there getting his hands dirty.
Yeah. Well, because
that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. means.
They wanted somebody that they could trust, and they wanted a powered person to kind of be in charge. They wanted an Inhuman to kind of make it look good for the public.
Right, and have the public realize, okay, so S.H.I.E.L.D. is back. They put... I hate to say this, but they used a minority play, and they said, okay, so this person, this of different origins, is directing a group, but he's a very trustworthy person. He's got Congress and S.H.I.E.L.D on, and
he signed the accord.
he signed on the
Sokovia
Sokovia. I almost said Slovakia Accords.
Sokovia
Accord, whatever it is. He signed on with the Accords for the Superhuman Registration Act, and I'm kind of interested to see how that carries over now, because
I want to know who he is, because Coulson called him Jeffrey.
Which implies that they have a distinct relation that predates this.
Yeah, they know each other.
Right, they're very familiar with one another.
He's probably a big character from the comics or a side character.
I don't know.
This is the first time I've ever heard of him. Well, it's like, it may be like an alias, like how Skye ended up being Daisy Johnson.
This is true.
Then
again, I didn't know that, what's his name, was going to be Mr. Hyde until he transformed, and I was like, oh, this is who this is.
Well, that was the playoff. Like, that's like how everybody, like when he called Skye Daisy, everybody's like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
No, season two was great for that. Season 3 kind of sucked, but
see, it was back and forth. It was
the first half of season 3 worked fairly decently, and the second half just felt like they really ran out of gas, but kept telling the same story.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about season 3. We're talking about season 4.
We skipped over something.
Did we?
Ada, the robot.
Yes, we're getting LMDs, life model decoys, which was something that was hinted at in Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't. Why are they just now getting around to LMDs?
She was hinted at in the last episode. She was a teaser.
Right.
It was the same 6 months later, and then she's revealed she's still glitchy. And
here's the problem:
they are not, like, the one thing that they do not want these to be is artificial intelligence.
Right, but here's the problem: we've already had acknowledgement that LMDs exist in this universe because Tony makes the joke, "You have reached Tony Stark's life model decoy. Please leave a message," in the first Avengers movie, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's really clever. Maybe that'll pay off later in the show." And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're not doing it. I guess it was just a joke. But now they're doing this like big reveal. Like, oh my God, what have you done?
Maybe it was something Stark was working on, or just like
maybe. But if that were the case,
that's the only kind of hint at it. But this is something.
Just something as a fan for continuity, it bugs me.
Yeah.
For something like that, and it just, oh God.
But now we have Fitz playing this close to the chest. He's not even telling Gemma about it.
Which again, I think is good progression for his character. He's now a field agent, not just a guy in a research lab. He knows how to play something close to the chest and keep a secret.
Fitz, in my opinion, is one of the best developed characters on this show.
Oh yeah, that's why Daisy's reaction to this is making me so mad, because she has not progressed. She has regressed and is now
the loner.
The loner again, and it's like
I think eventually we'll get a payoff with that.
I hope we do. I hope it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Because I
love when Fitz and Mac hang out, because Mac was the one person to start helping him.
Yeah, no,
because the
one constant for all this, Mac has been a good character.
Yeah,
like since he was introduced, I've looked at him and gone, you know what? He's gonna be on board above water. He's gonna be probably the most constant thing in the show. And he has been. He's been well written. He's been well developed, and he's been well acted.
The only character I missed that had about the same goodness as Mac was Trip. I'm mad they killed Triplet off.
Yeah,
I just liked him as a character, but Mac, like,
it's kind of weird because they pretty much replaced Trip with Mac.
Yeah, well, Mac came in a little bit earlier before they got rid of Trip.
Right, but he was essentially there because they were getting rid of Trip.
Yeah.
Which I don't know the inside. He might have been written out of the show because he had contract problems, or he had something else he was supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
like I say, we don't know, so this is all wild speculation.
Mac was the first person to start helping Fitz on his road to recovery.
Right.
because he was still seeing this imaginary Gemma going around, and he was the first person that kind of started getting, him to talk again and seeing their friendship. It's kind of just, it's been like a developing friendship, and you don't even think about it when they're not on screen together, and then they get back together, and it's like, oh yeah, these guys are really good friends.
Yeah.
Like the whole nickname, he calls him Turbo.
Yeah.
I love it.
What is this in relation to?
They were playing a video game, or something. It was like the first time they ever interacted, really, and they
were playing Halo 5.
They were playing, or he was helping Fitz figure something out.
That might be it.
It was something, because Fitz was trying to work on the cloaking technology, and they had to steal a Quinjet instead.
Yeah.
It was just a really, I like the two together, and then you get, it's those two go to investigate this, because they hold Coulson back to give a tour. But I mean, it's Coulson's thing. He is the nostalgia nerd. He knows everything.
Right, which I like.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
I like that coming back. And if you have something historical, you want Coulson to be the one explaining it. He knows canonically in the series and in the movies. He knows history. He's a history buff.
I love the whole time while the thing that was going, while May was going crazy, they were just kind of scurrying these people around, all that.
Yeah.
The senators and stuff, the U.S. congressmen that came to look at S.H.I.E.L.D. as a facility. I didn't get why May ends up on a Quinjet with them, and it looked like they were going to the moon.
I don't know.
That's the most confusing part about this.
The ending of this was. Yeah, I was just there and I'm like, wait, what?
She's at the moon.
I know I might have been sitting here looking at porn half the time, but what? No, I was watching the show, I promise.
But it's like, oh, wait, did you just fly to the moon? Are we getting Sword? Is what's our Sword gonna heal her?
I don't know. We might end up getting Black Bolt and the rest of the Inhumans, or we might be getting Uatu.
I think they're saving Black Bolt for the movie. We are getting an Inhumans movie.
Oh, that's right. So we're probably not going to get Black Bolt. We might get the Inhuman, or we might get an early look at somebody like Medusa, or...
Yeah, I was about to say, we might start getting a hint of the royal family.
Right.
And even Jeffrey could play up being maybe a member of the royal family, or closely... like a cousin to the royal family.
Who knows? It's all blood work from there.
Yeah,
they're royalty. They do stuff like that. I've seen Game of Thrones.
It's also like nobody knew he was Inhuman except Coulson. Like, remember May went after him.
Right.
Like May pulled, and he's just like, and I was like, what?
No, my first reaction was, oh sweet, we're getting LMDs now.
And then it was like, bam.
Yeah, it's like, I'm also...
She's like, you're a monster.
Howard!
No, she's like...
smash your brains out!
No, she was like, you're a monster. He's like, I prefer Inhuman.
Yeah.
I want to see how they heal her and what... Because that was, once again, with the ghost thing. Did Mac or Fitz get touched?
I don't think so.
No, because Ghost Rider showed up.
Ghost Rider showed up and fried him.
Yeah.
Yeah, long story short, we get there are apparently more ghosts than just the one that infects May.
There was 4, there's 6 total, 3 were let out.
Yeah. 3 or 4?
There was the 2 guys and there was 4 of them.
Right, because there was the dude who couldn't talk, there was the dude who wanted to separate.
And the initial guy who got let out, the dude who wanted to burn the building down, that's the one to stay behind.
Right.
The guy that the woman let out in general, and they said that there were 2 more somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere else, and we're not quite sure what they are, who they are, or how they're going to fit into this.
But we do know Ghost Rider, and it ended up being, like when Fitz was investigating, it's like micro technology, so they might not even be ghosts.
Right, which I kind of like this idea that it's going to be a mysticism versus science battle.
Yeah, but Ghost Rider did show up and gone.
Yeah, he toasted this one guy, so...
Yeah, so we do know Ghost Rider works against them. This could also be leading into his origin, because at the end of the episode, he does show up and gets with Daisy, and he's like, I think this is because of me, get it.
Right.
and that's the end of that story. And the episode we get May looked like she was flying to the moon.
Right, surrounded by the senators who are all just kind of passively staring, which kind of weirded me out.
Yeah, it's all very confusing, but we're only in the second episode.
Right. So, theories about what happened?
Ah.
Because I've developed one.
I think it may be Doctor Strange related since we are so close.
That's a distinct positive. That's like theory number 2. Well, for the ghosts theory.
I did have a theory, but looking back on it, I don't think they connect. The guy from the first season who ended up getting stuck in that black ball, but then I was like, wait, no, those two have nothing to do with each other.
Did they ever go back to that, or
he's in the ball, like in the episode, end of the episode, like
they didn't follow up on that.
No, it'll probably pay off in either of the movies or later in the show because he is a character in the comics.
Okay.
I'm kind of stuck with theories. I want to know who he is. I don't know if this is going to lead us back to Johnny Blaze or where all these we're going to.
My theory is that Mephisto is going to be some way tied into this because you can't have Ghost Rider without Mephisto. Or maybe it's Blackheart.
Maybe.
It might be Blackheart because he's very heavily tied into the Ghost Rider mythos as well. We might have something with that. I think that because they introduced LMDs so early and they made kind of a point saying that they're not AIs.
Yeah.
I think the senators might have been LMDs programmed by someone else because they were all just kind of sitting there very, very quietly, not moving a whole lot while May is sitting there screaming and writhing in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
So my theory is that they're going to be LMDs made by someone else, and either I get a bad feeling from the director. I don't know if it's just my general mistrust of management or management level people because I've had some really shitty bosses in my life, as have you. But
Amen,
he strikes me as that very two-faced person who will say he's a politician. Essentially, he will promise you everything and do it with the greatest smile and the most wonderful attitude toward you. But the second things go bad, he will immediately sell you up creek so hard.
Yeah, well,
so I don't know if
he seemed very nonchalant about stuff this episode because there was the whole, like, he had told them not to go after Scott, and he was like, it's cool, whatever, you know, save your speech for next time.
Which that could just be, again, them seeming like they know each other and him having some time to look at it and go, you know what, Coulson would have had reasons for this. He's not an irrational person.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he would have come towards me with this first, but you know what, I'm not, it's water under the bridge. He got me this job. He knows what he's doing.
I want to see.
Not gonna buck him for this.
I think the biggest payoff we might get for the next episode is we are definitely, because Mac does figure out that his little thing has been supplying Daisy with the bone healing drug, so that's going to come to a head. I want to see Daisy come back to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Honestly, I really do too.
I want to see her evolve into the Quake in the comics,
that's what I was saying earlier, is that it's character regression and it doesn't feel good.
I mean, she ends up being second in command and she's been the director for a period of time.
Right.
She had so much progress. I get her going back on her own because, you know, the only 2 loves or 3 loves she's ever really known died altogether, and she's just kind of like in a place where she feels lost. But I think
I'm just tired of the angsty brooding hero.
I think we'll get a conclusion.
Hopefully we'll get a very swift conclusion to this, and we can go back to it being, you know what? We don't have to be DC. Not everyone has to be dark and tortured for them to make sense. And you know what? with Ghost Rider being in the mix, that's going to be enough dark and torture that you
For
actually need.
everybody.
Right, he's going to be all the dark and torture you need. So it would be really good if they had somebody contrast that with not exactly a bright and chipper attitude, but
just have Vision crossover. He's kind of just like, hey guys, just put Vision in this season.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. We get somebody from the Avengers come in and just be like, Agent Coulson, you're not dead.
You know what I'm really hoping for with Doctor Strange? I'm hoping we get Doctor Strange start training Scarlet Witch. So
I don't know if we'll get them to start training, but I think there might be something hinted at the end. That'll probably be like the teaser or the sting at the end of Doctor Strange.
We'll get her like actually learning to use her powers and then like mystic powers and actually make her the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
That's just one of those nerdy hopes I'm hoping for.
No, I'm absolutely on board with that. And if that's the sting at the very end of that movie, I would be so happy if she just knocks on the door and Wong answers it. And she's like, I need someone to help me train. And he's like, I believe I know someone who can help.
Yep. Come on.
They said who's going to be Wong, or is he even in this?
It's a black guy.
No, he's the Asian guy that Doctor Strange kind of has as his doorman.
No, I'm saying, isn't it that one guy who's like, that's the password? They might have just.
Oh crap! I don't know. It might be. I haven't looked. I haven't looked. So.
Because he's in like the promotional posters and everything. Like
Maybe
some of them. That's who I was thinking it was.
He might be. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some tie-in to the rest of the Marvel universe. I like the fact that S.H.I.E.L.D is trying to come back as a public thing again.
I want S.H.I.E.L.D to start interacting with the Netflix shows.
That would be nice.
I mean, Daredevil, that's not really their forte because he's not powered.
Right.
But I mean, they could still very well go and investigate it. But Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are right up their alley.
Yeah.
Like, just have like maybe Mac or Coulson. Mac would be the best one just to kind of show up in Harlem trying to check things out. Right. And I mean, he's about the size of the guy who plays Luke Cage is much more like full.
Yeah,
I guess
he's got the beefcake size.
Big.
But yeah,
Mac would hold his own against Luke Cage, but
well, no, he doesn't have superpowers.
But it would be one of those. They just kind of Mac will be like, man, I got an axe. I got an axe shotgun. We can try this.
Hey, you never know.
You guys are at 42 minutes.
Okay, we need to.
Yeah, we need to wrap up. So yeah, that's our thoughts. It's shaping up to be a really good season. Lots of stuff not being answered, but a lot of other things being set up to be answered. And hopefully, like I say, hopefully we'll have a swift end to Daisy's emo phase.
Yeah. And
we'll be able to get on with more Ghost Rider-y goodness. Maybe some Johnny Blaze cameos. Maybe some Doctor Strange stuff.
Maybe. Here's hoping. And, let us know if you like this in the comments.
You've got any theories and crackpot ideas, leave them in the comment section down below, or you can just rant and rave about how we're two fat idiots sitting on our butts talking about comic book shows.
We're hoping to expand to get more than just me and him in here. We actually had two other people that were supposed to join us.
I'm looking around for some people who might do some good.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we will see you in 2 weeks for the next episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. And next week we will be doing something powerful. See you guys later. Bye.